Yeah, they've been giving us some zingers there. The young upstarts.
Kids these days are desensitized to the feelings of others.
You know, David Newland, our MC, besides being a musician and a songwriter and a great guy, he also takes a lot of time out of his busy schedule to go up north, way up north to remote areas of Ontario to teach music to the Indigenous children of Ontario, and I think that's a wonderful thing you do, David. Well, we started our musical trip back in the late 60s, and the first tour we ever did, Brian and I did with a very good friend of ours named James Aykroyd from Winnipeg. We were called James and the Good Brothers, and the very first tour that we ever embarked on was a tour on a train called the Festival Express that took us across Canada. And boy, that was a baptism by fire, I guess. But it led us down to California. We ended up meeting and performing with the Grateful Dead. And we toured a lot with them back in 1970 throughout Southern California and Northern California. And it was there that one weekend, and oddly enough, it was 40 years to the day that Gordon came down to California, and he hung out with us for a few days. And we drove up into the hills of Mendocino, and Gord took out a pencil. I might underline it was a pencil, and he wrote some words on a piece of paper that I found in an old auto harp case. And I have them here. And it's a description of his weekend. Now, I wanted to bring, I tried to photocopy the penciled version, but it just wouldn't come out on photocopy, so I took the liberty to type it out and put it in a font that is very bold, unworthy of my glasses. And I'd like to read it to you, if I may. It is unedited. It was just a one-time shot. He wrote it down. He did not go back. And it's incomplete, but it's very interesting. It goes like this. Recently, I went up into the Redwood Hills of Northern California with James and the Good Brothers, a startling troupe of entertainers from Richmond Hill, Canada. Startling. There were 6 of us in the musical safari, traveling in 2 automobiles, armed with 3 acoustical instruments, 1 electric bass, and 1 amplifier. The rain had been falling for 2 days, and we encountered 2 flash floods, 100 wandering sheep, and about 16,000 discarded aluminum beer cans. These are his words, folks. These are not mine. After what seemed like an endless journey, we arrived at a place called Elk. There we found, and here's where he starts crunching numbers. There we found 1 bus, 1 farmhouse, 2 naked children, 3 women, 5 giant redwoods, 1 chainsaw, 5 loaves of bread, and not 1 single can of beer. And so it was that we covered the last 37 miles to Fort Bragg in 32 minutes flat, with 2 J's en route. What is he, the Willie Nelson of Canada or something? Of course, it was the 70s too. We drove up Highway 1 for about a half a mile until we reached a decent looking motor hotel where we took out crash insurance on units 38 and 40 of Building A. Crash insurance. Shortly after we arrived in Fort Bragg, where we found Cat Mother. Do you remember Cat Mother? And the all-night newsboys? when I was just a little boy, you know, that my one and only joy was, yeah, that was it. owner of the and custodians of the house that we had visited earlier, setting up at the community hall for a benefit dance called the January Stomp, an evening of full-ass folk rock entertainment. I'm almost there, folks. And I love what he says about me. Okay. No, I can't use the word. Getting back to our story. Getting back to our story. We never left it, really. The reader should understand that James and the Good Brothers are not a full-ass rock combo. They are merely a very strong... They are merely a very strong trio of performing musicians dealing in acoustical commodities. Bruce and Brian are twin brothers who like to play country music of the Midland England tradition, i.e. bluegrass, and folk. Brian owns a good Martin, which he plays extremely well, and Bruce has... And that's where it ends. To this day, ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea what I had.
Probably contagious.